There we go. The door is open. The Genshin Impact version 3.3 update is live. Ugh. Private stream. Oh.
You must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Nahida. Paimon was ready to ask her a million more questions, but didn't want to seem too pushy. Like, about these descenders. So, does that just mean people like you who come traveling to Teyvat from someplace else? And as for your sister... Whew, so many questions. Let's go find Nahida and see what else we can find out.
Well then, I had a feeling that that would happen. Alright. Genius Invocation trading card game. Don't know if I'll touch that this stream. Oh god. Gnostic Horse.
There was a glorious kingdom.
Firm. They gave us this extra prompt recently when it comes to skipping cutscenes. Kind of makes it annoying on certain ones, like, for instance, the boss fights that we have to do. Want to get that one. How about it? We do a funny 10 pull. See if we can get Farazan. I would love to have a nice Animo. Well, shit! Let's go! Free Farazan, first 10 pull. For the record, I do not count this as as building pity. Just weighing my odds on who I can get. I don't know. Alright. Got a new character. At that moment, I didn't care if I got a 5-star. Even if I had gotten Wanderer at all. But I definitely was gunning to get Farazan. Maybe Goro, but mostly Farazan. Alright. Wait, why am...
If you're not sure what to do next...
Domains, we got a new artifact domain. So we got Archon quest, Genius Invocation, TCG, and a couple of quests that I have not done. By a couple, mean I haven't done any of the character story quests except for Nahida's since version 3.1. 3.1, I didn't do any of the story quests. I genuinely wasn't interested in. Yeah, whatever. Mail. Get a bunch of Fremo gems. Ooh. Alright, who do I want to use? You know what? This is a pretty fun Hyper Bloom team. Don't care if resin. All right. Much is done.
Add as
Clear the expedition, and then we can start the Archon quest. All right. All right. The Nightbird falls at the curtain's call. Go to the Sanctuary of Sarasthana. In order to look for more information about your sibling, you and Paimon decide to visit Nahida in the Sanctuary of Sarasthana once more. Along the way, you hear people discussing something. Huh. I wonder what they're discussing. Genuinely. Like, if I had to guess, it would be two things. The first thing would be the change of power in the academia. You know, having, like, 60%, 70% of the fucking sages being kicked out. You know, only 2 of the sages being left. Yeah, 2/3 of the sages being kicked out, and then, the Akasha being shut down as well. Or it could be that a mysterious new figure in the form of the Wanderer showed up. Oh shit.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The tatara suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay
Mysterious
on something
person being
interesting,
Scaramouche.
and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
70
okay,
pulls, 1
but-
Wanderer.
Did one of them just mention tatara suna? But that's all the way in Inazuma. Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here's just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything.
70 pulls, 1 Wanderer. And I don't know what to expect out of that amount of pulls. I mean, other than a possible 5-star. Soft pity doesn't hit until around the 75th, 76th pull. And even then, the average is about 80 pulls for a 5-star, and that's not even guaranteed for the limited 5-star. Who knows? But hey, you at least got the Wanderer.
Great! Let's go find out what this tatara suna mystery is all about.
Right. You know, I kind of forgot that we're going to Tatara Suna. That's like the one key location in the entire update is that we're going to Tatara Suna and uncovering what may have happened there. Was the Mikage furnace that kind of blew itself up?
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper. Ugh, if only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about him, this seems like the kind of thing he'd know about.
You're looking for the traveler that's me?
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Don't know about that.
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
Don't believe me, I'll go. I don't think they're looking for us, though. I think they're mainly looking for Scaramouche because his, I do believe a bunch of his story is tied to Tatara Suna. I mean, even in the little teasers that we got back just before the release of 3.2, when we got the drip marketing for the Wanderer, right? Instead of like being here in Sumeru just after the fight, it's instead looking back at his past at Tatara Suna. So I'm very not very curious, but I don't think they're looking for us. We don't really have much to do in. We didn't have much to do in Tatara Suna other than alleviate some of the problems that was being caused, I think, by the Fatui and the Mikage furnace.
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion.
I guess they are looking
Couldn't
for
believe
us.
my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lacking. Traveler, I hear you've
Tell me
helped
about
many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatara Suna?
Fucking nope.
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
Ah, I see.
Yep, sorry, I can't help this time.
My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatara Suna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatara Suna.
Of course, we have an author of a book or author of a light novel. Great. I just have a feeling that this dude's gonna start saying shit out of his ass to try and spin it to where he's not trying to sensationalize the story, even though he's against sensationalizing the story. But in all reality, he's sensationalizing the story.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatara Suna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows.
Those names are familiar.
Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger. Someone who
Scaramouche,
dresses
or
funny
Kunikazushi
or
at that
acts in
time.
an unusual way.
So those names that I'm pointing out to be a little bit to be familiar, like let's just preface this real quick. I'm not super familiar with the overall lore of certain regions or certain things, but I do try and watch videos of people who kind of dumb it down essentially and explain everything in a much more courtly fashion than what I could try and put together with my own conclusions. Because usually they present all the information, they present their own conclusions, but I can, still come to my own conclusions seeing the information. I just need a little bit of guidance myself to come to different conclusions or whatever. Yeah. So some of those names are familiar to me. I just can't remember exactly what in kind of like what connections everything has, which we're gonna get through this Archon quest. Probably is that we're gonna get the connections kind of laid out in front of us.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This Kabukimono lived in Tatara Suna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards,
Sounds
as
about
Akaba
right.
mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kind of fishy to Paimon.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow! Did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It
Again,
just so happens
sensationalizing.
that a friend of mine works at the government records office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago.
Timeline
Even
is
back then,
matching up
Tatara
correctly,
Suna
yeah.
was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Okay. That's a name that I definitely remember. Don't exactly their relationship or whatever, but that was a key name in the Irodori Festival quest that kind of allowed for Kunikuzushi to basically spare the lives of I think it was a couple head members of the Kaedahara clan, and I think it was the Kamisato clan at that time. I don't remember exactly who else was there, but I know for a fact it's related directly with the Kaedahara clan. Oh yeah, after hearing... Essentially, after Kunikuzushi asked about Niwa, and that one of the headmasters basically affirmed that they know of the person Niwa, and that they have some sort of affiliation with them. It basically spurred Kunikuzushi to kind of spare them out of respect. So I'm very curious now, because we're seeing a character that we only got one single name drop in the game's entirety essentially, from just the main voiced story quests. I don't know if this name is dropped in all the surrounding world quests or whatnot. Again, I don't pay attention to the stuff that's not voiced. I pay attention to the stuff that is voiced, and I watch YouTube videos that kind of summarize everything from the surrounding world quests or surrounding lore of the game. So, could it be? Yeah.
Wait, so there are two missing people in this story now?
Oh my god, Paimon.
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it.
Yep.
Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Yes.
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so.
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant
That's
relative
right.
of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall.
We know about it.
I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
It is.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Oh, but wait, there's more? Huh?
Yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabuki Mono was not a human, but a puppet.
We knew that.
A puppet?
Or at least us as the player. The Shogun puppet that the Electro Archon made should be ruling Inazuma with her as we speak. It couldn't be her. Okay, it sounds like Ether and Paimon don't know, but us as the player, we got we have the extra context here. We know exactly who they're talking about. Because, well, we get the flashbacks. The Kabuki Mono has to be the Balladeer, but what was he doing 400 years ago in Tatara Suna?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
Claire, Paimon hopes she keeps her mouth shut.
No. Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
Ether is like, you better keep your mouth shut, Paimon. We cannot say shit right now. This is a much bigger story than what these two are leading on to. And it directly involves one of the biggest threats that we have at our current situation. I mean, well, I guess Scaramouche is a non-threat. I mean, he basically lost his will to live after losing the Electro-Gnosis in the boss fight, so...
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
Oh boy. I really don't want... Oh my god, damn! Oh god. The Isle of the Darkling Clouds. I don't want to read this. Let's just give myself a few screen grabs. That way I can read this at a later date in time. But I have no interest in reading it right now. Seems that the rest of this work remains unfinished from the existing text, however. It is apparent that this is a novel of fantastical, colorful sensibilities, born from an imagination well utilized. Yep, sensationalized.
Oh, and please read my essay draft as well.
Great. Raiden Gokaden. That sounds about right. This is another long one. Oh, great. This is giving me flashbacks. Nah, my worst area in academics have always been writing. Shit like this, I know. But we'll give it a read sometime later. Da. Oh god. Oh god, damn it. Of course, my food is ready in the middle of an Archon quest. Seems that the rest of the paper remains unfinished. One thing is for sure, though, a lot of thought was put into it.
Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it. Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Okay. You know, it should be done. There should be a fictional interpretation of the events, and then an actual list of events that have been confirmed to have happened. It's at least how it should be done. It's fine. It's fine to have fictional works based off of nonfiction, but you cannot write it off to be nonfiction, because that's just completely false.
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
So, yeah, it sounds more like a novel. Has this guy ever written an essay before?
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get.
Wrong.
Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
I'll leave you to it.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Girl, Mama, I'm going.
Hey, so that thing they were
Hold on.
talking about, it has to do with the Balladeer, doesn't it?
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna go grab myself some food to eat. Haven't eaten dinner yet. It's 7:30 now, so yeah. I will be back momentarily. myself. See if I can eat and play at the same.
Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask
Sounds about
Paimon,
right.
Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in...
Eh.
Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like... the Balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Did the traveler eat? Sounds like where I wish I was a controller player. Huh. Conversation.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida! Bad news. We just saw the Balladeer strolling around in public. Did he escape or... Ah! It's him!
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surastana? Aren't you supposed to be locked up? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the Balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me. A deal? Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about.
No.
But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Oh boy.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down? But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us! As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you, considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond.
I just had a thought come across my mind just now. We're more than likely going to see the first cutscene where a major playable character is going to receive their vision. At least that's what I hope. We got something similar to that with Rana in the Aranyaka store world quest line. So, like, but even then, with Rana receiving her vision, she didn't. We didn't get to see her actually receive it. It was just black screen, wall of text, and it appeared on her waist. That's it.
Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a harbinger anymore?
I didn't catch
take
that.
no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
Cost you a lot like trash.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the Harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be.
Really, what a crying shame.
Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him!
Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
Alright. I'll take another moment to get myself perfectly cleaned up a bit, and we'll be back. We'll be back going through this at full steam. That's the button. Accidentally pressed the button to mute all the output audio.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nahida, are you serious about this?
Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit.
Really?
Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
You
what?
may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect. The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more quickly.
What if he lies to you?
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him!
I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it.
Damn. Thank you, Nahida.
It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
Paimon's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help?
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside.
Got it. I'm glad I'll be able to help.
Great. Thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Okay then. We're going to see that blue Irminsul tree now. At least that's the guess I have to take.
Wow, it looks pretty different here compared to last time.
Oh shit, no kidding.
The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Oh, Paimon. Only we as the Traveler know. May the greater Lord sacrifice. Alright. Alright. Bag of chips deleted.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Yeah, whatever. Nahida sent me to babysit you.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards, but right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Sounds like
Not
a successful
gonna happen.
rendezvous.
Not gonna happen.
I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Understood.
Fine, let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are going to be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
Oh,
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going.
I mean, Paimon. He has been traveling, at least Inazuma. Or no, he's probably been traveling the world for the last 400 years. We've only been at this for 3.
Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy, it's unbearable.
There's no need for all the biting sarcasm. Focus on doing your job.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
I was
Is
expecting
this a small sapling?
just the echoey voice.
Come on, let's catch up with him.
And that's cold.
Wow. So this is the inside of Irminsul.
Different than what I imagined.
Ooh. Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he said?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so say we did go running off in here. What would happen?
We'd get lost.
What are you smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
At least it's not sounding as much like a fucking... Ooh, what's this?
These sapling things have spread out.
Fragments of... Ah, what the hell?
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
He just changed the transport to another path.
It looks the same in every direction.
Face is indeed unusual, but I think Balladeer. What the hell?
No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little?
No. Not happening.
We're here.
What a huge tree!
This is the center of Irminsul. All the information in the world is flowing through it.
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladeer's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
He hasn't put up any resistance, and he seems good at working on the front line. He had a similar role in the Fatui. First Akaba and Sawada stories, now this. What a strange individual.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk?
Oh boy. Yeah, is this a telepathic conversation?
Yes. I've also invited Paimon to join.
Like a fucking Discord call.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
I'm guessing that you don't want us to disturb the Balladeer.
That's part of it. Plus, we're all with us talking like this once in a while.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
Yes, and he seems to excel at doing odd jobs for others.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers.
Is it about his past, the betrayals, and the other events in Inazuma?
Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
Sounds like it. Actually, I caught a glimpse of a few and into Apasia at Partis DI. You relate to what you saw in the Balladeer's mind.
So,
Partis DI.
you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatara Suna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatara Suna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
Tell Nahia about the story Akaba and Sawada are writing.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gase got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatara Suna was sabotaged.
But by who?
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Just by how you're talking now, Paimon would probably make him think that you just hit everything right on the nose.
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation.
You have every right to keep certain things confidential.
Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait, how did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like
Yes.
we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you.
Every conversation with you is hard work, but your attitude is better than I thought.
Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh? Wait.
Huh. What is
That's
this?
right. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is
What
worth
the
the risk?
fuck?
We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
That name, Niwa was the man in charge at Tatara Suna. Plus, he belongs to the lineage of Ishin art.
Whoa!
I wonder
I've
how...
been in Tatara Suna for some time now.
Hold
You
on.
have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else.
We'll resume this. I wonder how the context of this changes. Whether, like, I wonder how how the context changes when it comes to playing through the Iridori Festival versus not playing through the Iridori Festival. Because that much is obvious. We get information that is slightly tweaked. Like, it was noticed that between the version 1.1 event and the version 2.1 Archon quest, when we first meet Scaramouche in the Archon story, it changes with the context of version 1.1. I didn't play until version 1.2 myself. So I got slightly altered dialogue compared to those who've been playing since day one and played through the version 1.1 event. What was it? Man, I cannot remember what the event was called.
Under your leadership, Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place. Like
This
a
must be
giant
Niwa.
village. People are gainfully employed. Their lives have purpose. They are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma.
Who's talking right now?
As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown, all passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams.
Oh, somebody from
Every
Fontaine.
smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter me.
Escher.
From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma, and it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected, because I didn't want to speculate, and I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up, continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope.
Oh. What the? Interesting. Wouldn't expect Scaramouche to try and talk to the Shogun. Probably would try his best to avoid talking with the Shogun at that time. We don't know exactly when the Raiden Shogun puppet was created. Like how soon after Kunikazushi was created. I'm very curious on that part of the timeline. So it seems like Neela is suspecting Escher of of either the tampering that happened at Tatara Suna or Asher knowing full well of the ramifications behind this new technique of forging. So
But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
money.
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Nope.
Drop the act. We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatara Suna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Oh!
A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatara Suna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
What? How old is the Torre?
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace.
What?
So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just missing a heart.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this? Why go to all this trouble?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
The Fatui? want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet. Make no mistake,
What the
even
fuck?
without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
If you give him my heart, he has
whatever.
nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that are people like you.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat. I say, Mr. Niwa,
I'm getting
let's see
General
what
as Death
happens.
vibes.
Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity. Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Holy shit. So that was from about 400 years ago. Let me try and connect the dots here. Okay. One question. Did Dottore and the Fatui as a whole, did Dottore have the means to connect? Does Dottore have the means to connect to Irmin? Because long-range electrocommunication devices really have not been around. I understand that the Fatui have a lot of advanced tech, but I don't think that they would be that advanced 400 years ago. I have a sneaking suspicion that Dottore might have a connection, or might be able to connect to Irminsul and be able to talk through Irminsul. Well, shit.
Hey, Are you alright?
Dottore? Dottore! Good. Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine?
Afraid so. He was the one behind the Tatara Suna incident.
But why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
This betrayal was a lie that he has believed for hundreds of years. Is this part of the doctor's experiment? Probably. If the betrayal never happened, it existed only in his imagination. Where does this leave him?
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now.
Alright, let's go over
You
there.
need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatara Suna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatara Suna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as a mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the Balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the Balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process.
What the
The load
fuck?
was far beyond what he expected, but the Balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The Balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it has protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the Balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatara Suna without looking back.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
It's in line, though. Being betrayed and abandoned by a close friend is sure to cause great resentment. Now we know what was behind his decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden 100. But it doesn't mean that vengeance was the right decision.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Holy shit.
Dottore, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
While later.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend.
We just want to make sure this doesn't affect the plan.
It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Teyvat.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't think so. Unexpected, but still, thank you.
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Huh? About what?
The reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her first destination when she arrived in this world. Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
Heavens responded to the sun.
The heavens responded?
What?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your sister for a time.
The Jester, another Fatui Harbinger. Why?
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Part of the summoning. What fucking summoning? They have the fucking gotcha system like we do as a player?
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me.
What do you want to know?
Give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head?
It's quiet. Are you trying to brainwash me?
No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
Fuck. Oh no. Oh no. Oh fuck. Oh god. Oh, Scaramouche, please no. Why would you ask that?
Done.
He got the answer he wanted. He knows it. We just confirmed it.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking him for helping me.
Quit lying through your teeth. But look, did you see me hesitate? But that was because I know about Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Oh.
So long. I suggest
What
you get
the
yourselves
fuck?
out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
You have to stop him.
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatara Suna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Oh no.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow.
That was the
Oh, no.
worst thing
He's
that could
gonna
have happened.
run.
Oh, can you hear me?
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
Tell Nahida everything that happened.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Nope, he hid his power.
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
What the fuck? That was like probably one of the worst case scenarios that we could have happened. Fuck. I just want to point out before we continue with this, I fucked up again in the stream earlier, and I'll be editing it out. So the stream will go down for a while, and I'll re-upload the VOD as an edited VOD. Sorry for the inconvenience, but it'll have to be done. Yeah, but when I saw him ask that question, I knew exactly that we were
We're out. And we're at, an inn or something?
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you.
I want to help. Is there anything I can do?
I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please rest and recover your strength here until I say it's safe.
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before?
Paimon doesn't remember Grey Lord Brigadavada, and the Balladeer's question was a strange one. It's hard to explain in full, and the truth might be very distressing for Paimon. I'll skip that part about Grey Lord Brigadavada now and focus on the Balladeer. You tell Paimon that Balladeer is asking what...
He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible!
It's not easy, that's for sure, but it's definitely possible, and we witnessed it.
Right! You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened already in real life!
Wrong.
It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it.
Yeah, great example. Can still be erased. don't. Maybe he wants to erase himself from history. No, but he said that he was going to that all the people deserve to. Oh. He's going to change the events of the Tatara Suna incident. He's going to try and kill the Torre. Or write out the Torre completely. And make sure that everybody survives.
Sorry. Paimon accidentally... It's the Balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress. But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable.
Not.
Is that really possible in Irminsul?
Not necessarily, but maybe. I'm just guessing here.
Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand what he's up to. And it's still not working.
I mean, our conversation with Red Lord Rika Nevada is that, like, it hasn't been attempted to erase yourself. Rika Nevada immediately saw that there was going to be a paradox and dared not to attempt it.
Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him.
That is how the little skirmisher is. Scaramouche.
There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too?
Indeed, if the Balladeer does erase himself from Irminsul, many people in Inazuma will be affected. I can't imagine what that situation would look like. Worst case scenario, it will affect everyone with a connection to the Raiden Gokuden. Kazuha, Ayaka, Ayato. Will this mean that they'll disappear?
There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. Paimon won't be able to sleep a wink tonight.
Me neither.
So, how about, we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things? Heck, if that doesn't work, Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here. Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Andrean chili chicken.
Yeah, we're just gonna
on the
skip
top.
everything.
Also, Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered.
And everybody's asleep. Nope. Paimon, what's wrong?
What was Paimon supposed to be doing just now? Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about. What was it again?
Music changed. You were getting so worried about the situation with the Balladeer that you started listing foods.
The Balladeer?
There's no shot.
Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name though.
Paimon doesn't remember the Balladeer. He actually... That's why the demo, the fucking Fatui didn't recognize him. What? How did he have that ability? This doesn't make sense.
What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said?
No, it's nothing.
So, the Balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause It sounds like a nickname or something.
This is the most... First of all, I just want to point out to the directing team at MiHoYo, as well as Yuping Chen and Hoyo Mix. Yeah. We're just gonna keep it at that. Oh god. How do I make a note? I'm gonna try to talk about it. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about it right now. And just sing some praise over to MiHoYo about right now the direction. The music that is being used, it is perfectly setting the tone right now. Like, this is giving me similar feelings that I got watching the final 4 episodes of the Clone Wars. You know, the Seeds of Mandalore arc. That's the feeling that I'm getting right now. When Maul is imprisoned in this whatever device that's made by the Mandalorians, right? And he's being carted off onto one of the gunships, right? And that entire sequence essentially leading up to the execution of Order 66. I'm getting the same exact vibes right now. That something major just happened or something major is about to happen. What? If this is really happening, I need to know what else has changed. Paimon, come with me.
Okay, sure. Where are we going?
I want to go back to Inazuma.
Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay? You're acting like this is an emergency.
Now's not the time to explain. Let's get over there first. Talk to Aminomo Togo. Does that look different? I'm Googling something real quick. Not necessarily Googling, but I'm pulling up the interactive map. I'm doing the third party one because it won't update quite as quickly as the first party one. Okay. That is just my mind playing tricks on me. A Dance of Destruction is the quest name. Stream. There we go.
Time to go.
We've made it to Amanoma Smithy.
Ah, it's been a while.
Pardon me, I'd like to ask a question if I may.
Of course. Go ahead.
About the Raiden Gokudet. Could Could you tell me that story one more time?
Oh, now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well, I'll tell you what I know once more. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions. Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline, and for a long time, only the Amenoma branch kept its art alive. But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, 2 clans remain of the original Gokuden 5.
That doesn't sound quite right.
If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we were! Paimon remembers that now. We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then, too. It seems like such a shame.
What was the reason behind their decline?
That, my friends, is a tragic tale indeed. In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause. Only recently, when the question was on my mind, did I ask Kaedehara Kazuha about this. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, it was right that I should know the truth. There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrowful tale.
Music's changed completely. This isn't normal for the region that we're in.
The Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatara Suna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. Tatara Suna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but neither of them made it out. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself, and grew up deeply resentful at the world. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty Shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery.
This is where kind of like the story splits off now. Because it wasn't a murderous rampage, I do.
Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer, and yet he could do nothing to change it. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent up anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's forging industry. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones, under the dire circumstances.
Legend of the Raiden Gokuden has changed. Someone else attacked the swordsmith. It looks like the Balladeer did something in Irminsul, but it seems Niwa still died.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Have you seen Kazuha recently?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke for a while over some tea. He seemed well.
So he still exists. The same Kazuha I know. Things don't seem as bad as I feared last night.
My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? Your expression says it all. You can't hide anything from Paimon. On to the next stop. Lead the way, traveler. Paimon will be right behind you.
Hello, Kazuha. Go to the Yashiro Commission. Holy shit. This is turning into like the most intense fucking story yet. Curious. I'm gonna check something. Okay, it does track.
We're here! This is the Yashiro Commission's headquarters, so...
Traveler, it's been a while.
I don't remember him.
If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate. They're not here right now.
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
Yeah,
What do
urgent.
you think? Shall we go in?
Thank you. We'll take you up on that offer. Can we take a walk in the courtyard?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I think it should be okay.
We'll be heading in then. Thanks!
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say?
We'll ask here in a moment. I'll be right back. Oh, crap. I forgot to... Had to open up the window. It's a little warm in here. Can I ask you a couple of questions?
Of course, traveler. Yes, I know who you are. Miss Kamisato has told me about you. What would you like to know?
How are the commissioner and Miss Kamisato these days?
Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all kinds of meetings and occasionally paying visits to some local organizations on the commissioner's behalf. As for the commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as ever. That much hasn't changed. Although he does seem to be in a rather good mood these days.
So pretty much business as usual in the Yashiro Commission, huh?
Very much so.
Ayatos is still the commissioner. Yashiro commissioner, Ayaka is still the lady of the house. Changes there. As far as I can see, nothing's changed in the Yashiro commission either. I was expecting as much, but it's still a big relief to know that the Kamisato siblings are both safe and
Well, got any more questions?
that's all for now. Many thanks.
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than for you to come and visit more often. But I'm sure you must be far too busy to have time for that. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend, and she's always saying how talented you are and how much she admires you.
Yandere Ayaka memes intensifies.
I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you arrived here. So you're not just Miss Kamisato's knight in shining armor, you know. You're a hero to us all. I mean it. Whenever the commissioner dines at home, Toma always joins him. I always find myself at my most relaxed when I'm serving the two of them and listening to them chat away. The commissioner has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the chance to take his meals at home, but given the opportunity, he always prefers to dine here. They say it's because Toma is a much better chef than most. Oh, the commissioner is so fond of home comforts. They get to talking about you sometimes too, you know. Always with a very fond tone. The way one would talk about dear old friends around whom one can truly be themselves. Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. Whenever the whole family gets together and they start talking about people they've met and experiences they've had, you always get a mention. It's been many years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. Kamisato passed away. Much has happened in the Kamisato clan in that time. As someone who is old and gray enough to have watched their son and daughter grow up, it makes me so happy to see them meet a dependable friend whose company they enjoy so much. So, in the future, if you ever do have the time, please know you are always very welcome at the Yashiro Commission headquarters. There will always be at least one old lady who would be delighted to have the pleasure of your company.
Thank you. The people of the Kamisato clan are very dear friends to me.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Haima likes it here too. Also, You were saying something about the food here being really great. Paimon's itching to try it. We may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner sometime. Paimon meant we should come pay a
Oh
visit
my
again
god.
real soon. Ideally around dinner time.
Of course. You're always
I'm always
welcome.
thinking with her stomach.
Alright, goodbye for now. Where are we going next?
Tarasuna.
Great! Goodbye, ma'am! Don't worry, we'll see ourselves out.
All right, then. Take care now. Hope to see you soon.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe travels. Goodbye.
Go to Tarasuna, look for clue. That Xavier? Is.
Well, here we are. But what are we looking for? Something or someone?
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the Traveler and Paimon?
So that's what his voice is.
Xavier? What are you doing here?
Xavier. Huh.
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So what about you two?
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Do you know much about the Tarasuna?
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away.
How well do you understand the history of this area?
Like the back of my hand. Make no mistake, I have been here a good many times before. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all true, the history here.
Go on, I'm listening.
Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale of Tatarasuna starts a long time ago. I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation, goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way. How about that?
Mechanic. Huh. Like the doctor still sabotaged the furnace, leading to all the ensuing chaos.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about the Tarasuna? Come on, ask already.
I am.
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a history exam or something.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for historical knowledge?
Pretty much. So can I ask you one more question?
Sure, go ahead.
Have you ever heard of a kabuki mono connected to Tarasuna?
A kabuki mono? No, I can't say that I have. I do know the word, Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, actually. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where Tatarasuna is concerned.
There's no more kabuki mono. Did the Balladeer really manage to erase himself from history completely? If so, he must have wanted to change the world and revert everything back to the way it was. But so far, it looks like the majority of changes have only affected himself. Thank you, Xavier.
Of course! Don't mention it.
You're leaving? Okay, bye, Xavier.
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help. Farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for.
I'm gonna go back and see Lesser Lord Crisanola now.
Sure, but what's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems like it's really troubling you. Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Paimon will always be there for you.
Alright, thank you, Paimon.
Hey, don't mention it. Alright, let's head off and go meet Nahida.
Ghosts of history. Ah, fuck. What was the fucking quest called? No. I'll have to check as soon as I get the opportunity. Man, was not expecting that though. All of it. Oh. Oh, new mail. Somebody's birthday or something. Oh. Nope. Primo gems. Take that. Investigate the memories of everything comes. The Kabuki Mono's finale.
Hey, it's them.
Oh boy. Like fucking paparazzi.
Sawada, you're still here?
We're still talking about the essay?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
We have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
It's the same topic we discussed last time. Obviously.
Still looking for more info about Tatara Suna, huh? Should we join them?
Perfect. These two have researched Tatara Suna's past. Let's hear what they have to say.
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress.
The article that you let me read last time was great. Can I read it again?
Huh? Oh, of course.
Fuck. Of course the papers actually have something to do. Tatara's... This is something that needs to be taken of note, though, because the Kabuki Mono is gone. So we'll just scroll through this, that way I can look back at this with... with a little bit more time on my hands. Ah, we're seeing the big changes. Many of these are outsider. And I wish I would have read it the first time around now. Huh.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well.
Yeah, whatever. Don't care. content has changed, another effect of tampering with the information in Irminsul. The Balladeer said he'd erased 2 of his names. But if he really succeeded, it must have taken all of his might. But still.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Trevor,
Cool, good for you. I am busy right now.
Akaba was saying how you wish you could
My
gather
sister
more
walked in saying
information
that she
about
got the
all this.
Wanderer.
Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about we tell them what we learned?
Sure.
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Ina's...
Yeah, whatever. Ryan go get in the
So
version of
many
history, whatever.
new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Arminoma clan, you say? Then I guess it must be true.
Not entirely.
Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of, at least by the perpetrator, as a way of exacting revenge against those in power.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't carry on with my novel.
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
Got some things to take care of. Bye for now.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you. Thank you so much for the information.
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do.
Just let the story play out a little bit longer before I can make any comments about what's going on.
Time to go.
Ida.
Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon, how have you been?
Fucking horrible.
Ugh,
What the hell
where to
happened?
start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then he decided he wanted to go to Inazuma.
I was investigating the situation with the Balladeer.
The Balladeer? This sounds like some kind of code name.
Oh boy. Fuck. Oh no.
You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me?
Even Nahida doesn't remember. Just like last time, any changes to Irminsul affect her as well. The Balladeer acted quickly. He finished erasing himself before Nahida could stop him. If I'm the only one who still remembers the things that were erased. Once again, I'm the record keeper.
Traveler?
Again, calling back to the conversation we had with Zhongli about the fact that we are the witness to this world. That we are the only ones who can keep a proper recording of the events of Teyvat.
Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
There are things that have happened that only I can remember. I have to tell you the truth. With a heavy heart, you piece back together the story that was broken and scattered across time. There was once one named the Balladeer, created by the Electro Archon. It was a puppet who lived among men. After a series of events in Tatara Suna, the Balladeer, thinking it had been thrice betrayed, left Inazuma to roam the world beyond. With no trust for humans and only loathing for the gods, he bore his grudge for years as he grew in strength, then returned to Inazuma to take his revenge. He tried in vain to become a deity with the Gnosis and ended up losing everything. Finally, he entered Irminsul and learned the truth behind his betrayal. Knowing now that his entire life was built on lies, He did the unthinkable in an attempt to reverse his tragic fate.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
But how was he even able to do that?
As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality.
So we aren't necessarily spreading forbidden knowledge in this point. Because, okay. The kind of the pretext to forbidden knowledge is that it's just knowledge that doesn't belong to this world, and that it cannot be understood by anyone in the world. You know, those are the two key points that make forbidden knowledge, well, forbidden knowledge. So, you know, kind of thinking about Rika Devada when she was erased from Irminsul, right? We kind of have this constant threat, so to speak, that if we basically speak about Ruka Devada at all in any detail, you know, we could possibly have memories start flooding back, or a new rise of forbidden knowledge coming, because Ruka Devada was the last little bit of forbidden knowledge in Teyvat. She had contained the forbidden knowledge only into herself, right? Separated it from Irminsul and contained it within herself. That way, once she were erased from Irminsul, she would be completely forgotten, and forbidden knowledge would be no longer be in Teyvat. You know, the Withering and Elazar would either slow down or completely stop and cure, which is what happened. And, you know, we now have to make sure that we really don't say anything about Ruka Devada. But the case for the Balladeer is slightly different, right? He belongs to the world. He is from Teyvat. Everything about him is from Teyvat. So I'm thinking us reintroducing the information about the Balladeer and his story, it's not exactly going to be reintroducing forbidden knowledge, because this is a completely different topic compared to Ruka Devada. It is reinserting information that was deleted from the system, essentially, and trying to fix that information. And it's still able to be understood with the information given within the game. Let's continue.
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because he literally changed the world?
Yes.
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But I'm struggling to imagine the kind of person who would dare go through with it.
One with no will to live, essentially.
The traveler comes from a world beyond Teyvat. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsul, and it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect him. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
Say that again.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it?
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that.
I'm not really sure. I'm really not sure. We were enemies after all. I don't know his perspective on all this, so I can't say why he did something so extreme. Did he want to reset everything? Or save someone? Or did he want to completely undo his existence? Everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all. Maybe that's all there is to it. I still remember the question he asked. He asked me specifically, and my hesitation gave him his hand. I hesitated because I witnessed Greater Lord Rukkhadevata erase her own existence. But I can't tell Nahida that. To put it another way, I know why the Balladeer was so sure it could work, but I can't tell them that.
Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share?
Just feel empty. Chose such a radical option, and yet
It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right?
yeah, you can't. That's a common theme that we're starting to see now. Is that you can't change another person's fate. Only you can really change your own fate, and even then, who knows what'll happen.
Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatara Suna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. The story makes sense, every part of it. The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have much strength left.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for
Hello,
his
welcome
friends.
to the stream.
It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
You came in pretty much in the middle of this whole debacle. He changed the world in many ways, and yet the dead still didn't get a second chance. Those fated to a tragic end could not be saved. What exactly did he want to fight back against? Betrayals in his life? Or did he wish he'd never exist at all?
Please wait a moment. I want to check something. Found it. This should be the one.
What the fuck?
It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything he has told us.
What is it?
Maybe some sort of loophole.
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Surprisingly, the information way that resembles a fairy tale.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
This matches everything I said.
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the Balladeer?
When combined with the Traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Weird.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes. Any information about the Balladeer or the Kabuki Mono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact.
Huh.
Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the Balladeer entered Irminsul.
Interesting. As far as the second part of this. Yeah. So this is already a theory that's been kind of floating around, pretty much since Economia, with Before Sun and Moon is what I think the book is called. It's written as kind of like a fairy tale, similar to how Nahida wrote this story. In that it was a very well hidden truth, essentially, and there's no information to necessarily refute the contents of the book, right? And so far, it's, from what we see, it's been unchanged. So that kind of left a theory to be open, right? To show that you could have a piece of fiction be based, essentially a piece of fiction be based on real events, but you can change certain it connects with Lisa's story, of course, as well. I just remembered one little detail that I knew I was forgetting, but just remembered. Lisa's story quest, what the hell? Lisa's story quest was kind of centered around this abyss mage that had stolen a book, the Boar Princess, right? And a lot of people were wondering after the events of the 3.2 Archon quest, right, including myself, that what if that book actually hid the truth so well that Irminsul couldn't change it? You know? The dots are being connected the story team at MiHoYo are doing a fantastic job at giving us little crumbs, little hints to allow us to connect the dots. Wow. This is basically confirming a bunch of people's theories, including my own, that you can hide the truth in fictional works. You just have to word it in a way where it doesn't give away who or what you're talking about if it is erased in Irminsul. Since Nahida's story was focused more on the Balladeer, right? But in just changed his information, it didn't get changed. That is insane.
That's incredible! What a great idea! And sending the Traveler into Irminsul with the Balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew he'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one he told us. The now erased life of the Balladeer.
Holy shit.
There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them.
Still in line with everything that we know about the Balladeer.
But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, They spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided.
Oh.
You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin."
Alright, so this was supposed to be the doctor, veiled as, Asher. This is supposed to be, Scaramouche.
The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
Damn.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
Wow.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
I've never had this feeling before. It feels like life is as insignificant as a feather. Okay. Let's just think about the journey so far and where it's going. Alright. Alright. This game has us set to basically see all 7 nations. I wonder if we're going to take a sidestep. Right. If we're going to go off the beaten path for a little bit and go directly for Conria at some point. Because of our siblings because of our siblings' journey starting in Conria rather than anywhere else. Fuck. Because of their journey starting in Conria, right? Fuck. Gotta think. Yeah. Because of their journey starting in Conria, it would make sense for us to want to push our way to go to where it all started. Where all the, not necessarily issues, but just everything, where it all started.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination. And that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahida's right. Cheer up! How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again later.
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk to clear his head?
You got it! Come on, Traveler! You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk. Let's go get a snack
Holy shit.
That'll be sure to lift our spirits.
What does Nahida have to say
Must
extra?
be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
There's a few things I'd like to look into.
Okay. Reaffirming what we said. I can walk around the Grand Bazaar to clear your head. I didn't think this interlude this interlude quest would be as interesting as it is. I didn't think it would take this kind of turn. Yeah, I do not know how to English sometimes. I didn't think it would take this kind of turn where the Balladeer would actually delete himself from from Irminsul. Holy shit. Wonder where the new domain is. Now I mention it. I'm very curious. It's over here.
Time to go.
a little framey right now.
What should we eat first?
I've been nagging feeling like there's something I'm missing, something important that I'm forgetting.
Hey, are you gonna answer or what?
Sorry, just give me a minute. I'm still processing.
Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat.
Come on, brain. This out. Gotta be in there somewhere. Deleting ones.
What is it? Have you figured it all out?
Shut up, Paimon. Yeah, that was it. Great Lord Rikadavada, she said that no one can erase themselves from existence, not even her. Otherwise, why would she need to create her own reincarnation in Lesser Lord Kusanali to do the deletion for her? There would be no point.
Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
No, I can't tell Paimon she doesn't know about Greater Lord Rikadavada. But this is a crucially important detail. It's simply not possible for the Balladeer to completely erase his own existence, in which case the question is, what happened to him?
Excuse me, boss. There seems
There
to
he
be a
is!
small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
What the fuck? I didn't think that we'd run into him here.
Hey! Hey, wait!
Hmm? You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something?
That guy's the Balladeer.
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work, I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsetias. And I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment. I'll be right back.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something in return eventually. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights. Are you a drifter or something?
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsetias, was it? I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do now?
Let's follow him.
Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let him see you.
No shit, Paimon. Fucking hell. So that explains why his appearance changed. It wasn't because of his transformation, it was because he literally deleted him. Tried to delete himself, that is. But didn't change anything. I wonder, how's he going to remember everything?
Time to go.
How are we going to get him to remember everything that we just witnessed, essentially?
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the Balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsetias? Isn't that a bit too cruel?
Shut up.
Oh, alright.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back.
If I wasn't seeing this with my own eyes, I would never believe it.
Huh? You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
He spotted us!
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice.
You're right, we were following you.
Have we met before? No, we haven't met. But you know me?
Yes.
I have no recollection.
Complicated, but I do know you.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yes.
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
I can prove it. You're a puppet.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
You were right! The look on his face!
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important.
Design as a hat. Can I spoil? No. No. I do not want any spoilers.
Okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Are you really
Shouldn't be a
working for
problem.
that guy? He said you don't want any more for it. Is that true?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm, and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
Alright.
Then let's return to the city.
It's fucking strange. Let's see if this is the right place. I don't think it is, but it's closest we'll get. Down low. Oh, wait. We just need to return to the grocery stall. Doy.
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Some acquaintances.
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, you should go live your life.
But I don't... No, you're right. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again for taking me into the city.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just hope you find your path.
Thank you. All right, done. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Return to the sanctuary of Sarasthana. Right. Alright. Wait for this to load and then I will go grab myself some more water. That way I don't kill my voice. Be right back.
This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
All right.
Time to go.
Try and get through this without too many breaks.
Nahida! Nahida! What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. So, yeah, quite an eventful walk.
You tell Lesser Lord Kusanai what happened in the Grand Bazaar.
You say that you are trekking across to Vat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe themselves in this way call themselves Shugenja. Why do you refer to yourself as a wanderer?
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... this is a difficult one to explain.
Sorry, I just sent it before I finished typing. It seems that Mohio gives Scaramuccia a new and better life.
I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but
Yeah.
in your case, it seems that it ought to be called, previous incarnation.
Oh, like a past life or something?
Yes, something far more distant than the past. So far away that you cannot perceive it.
Okay, I have to ask. What was I like in my previous incarnation? Oh, okay. I see. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation.
We're just trying to think where to start.
If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear. But I'll be able to handle it. Please, tell me the truth.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a heart. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
He tells the Wanderer about his past.
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and consequence.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world in all of its complexity.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
Yeah, we were each other's enemies.
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street! He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything. What a weird situation.
You don't remember anything, Paimon.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet, with no heart and no name. There is nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me. Except maybe these sins that can never be undone.
Very well. As you wish.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us for bringing him here.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Yes.
Oh, good point. Given your, unique situation, we'd better keep an eye on you.
Understood.
Thank you. Now, prepare yourselves, everyone.
Cutscene time? Or domain time? Enter the memory. Let's talk to these guys first.
No matter what lies ahead, I'll face it. Whatever it takes. I'm just sorry that you have to join me for the whole thing.
Ida.
It's time to get ready.
That's it. Reminiscent drift. New domain. Memories of a certain puppet. He can be the Balladeer, Harbinger of the Fatui, and he can also be the Kabuki Mono who was once sighted in Tatara Suna. Right. We'll just stick with this team. Hasn't been super hard.
This looks like Inazuma.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth, but be aware that enemies may react just like in the real world. Please be careful.
Sounds like an immersive experience. It's a good thing we came along.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve your protection.
We never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your doing.
Now we're here. We're just finishing the job.
All right. Thanks.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your creation. You had a great many memories here.
Is that because this is kind of like his birthplace?
Sort of.
You could say that, in a sense. You'll see why shortly.
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow miners? No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved too. No mining crew would be capable of this. There's someone passed out on the ground.
Who are you?
You're awake. What happened? How'd you get stuck here? Are you injured? Huh. Not a scratch. And these fine clothes. Who are you?
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichio's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the Balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to Tatara Suna.
And the rest is history. Well, it used to be.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby. Hang in there.
During the Tatara Suna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor, disguised as a mechanic. The Balladeer, then known as the Kabuki Mono, disappeared not long after. As the second in command at Tatara Suna, responsibility for what had happened fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa killed him to put an end to the Tatara Suna incident.
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Little loot.
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabuki Mono.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Hey, weird. Oh, wait. Ah. Behind.
Time to go.
Damage, what's that? I can just fly. Excuse me. I like to live.
Huh? What are we doing back here?
I hear voices.
Whoa, this is where you were born?
Oh no.
Pretty, but there's nobody here.
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but there's nothing for us here. We can't stay.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died, and then my dad got sick. He kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing too.
But you can't. You promised me.
Yup, we're family now. We're gonna be together forever and ever.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the Balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could name him. After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. Some of the neighbors helped to raise him. After leaving Tatara Suna, the Balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him. They made a promise to live together.
What happened to the child then?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The Balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too.
Holy shit.
The voices have gone. It looks like the memory ends here.
Let's keep going.
At least this part of the memory. Why, hello there. Through the green leaf.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting.
Oh.
What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. Or you could continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
Long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Witness power, Kubwa! No, my sword!
Time to fulfill my duty! No standing up! You can't run! Not too far. Finished.
Aha! Oot. And then the incident in Inazuma.
This place is dark.
That's where he almost killed me.
Paimon knows this place. It's the Delusion Factory in Inazuma.
In the original version of events, the Traveler once encountered the Balladeer here.
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so familiar.
Remember this, it was an unsettling place. We have ominous Fandango coming in.
Hey, look over there!
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan. Perhaps you find fighting in the Abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the Doctor.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Surely
Too
you're
bad.
not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokuden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else.
Damn.
Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Too bad you gonna die.
Poor little tongue? She's playing with fire talking to me like that. Who does she think she is? Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yes. Please don't worry about me.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results in your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
Sometimes, oftentimes I wish the fucking audio didn't play during a fight sequence. Or actually not sometimes, all the time. Wish the audio didn't play during the time that I'm fucking fighting things.
Looks like we've arrived in Sumeru. Is that?
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trivial affair.
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible. In the event that a successful connection is established,
Don't know why, but
his
my
body
left
will become
eye is
permanently
twitching.
bound to the machine, and he will be unable to move independently of it.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a great deal of information. Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the Abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge I had gained.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
The doctor again? That was uncomfortable to watch.
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
The doctor, he's the one behind all of this.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon.
Let's move on.
Anything special around here?
Follow the wind.
Oh, fuck. I tried. Can't say I didn't try. Invasive thoughts prevailed in that situation.
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes, are there any differences between humans and puppets?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between humans and puppets? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses the miracle of life, they are human too.
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, let it come to pass.
Same.
Can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules, with each person being a collection of past experiences. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with the void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self.
Is this the true meaning of Greater Lord Rikadavada's words? A person can't erase themselves, and even though the original Balladeer is gone, this person will live on in his place? Are a person's sins an inescapable part of their destiny too?
I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul-searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. Looking at it now, it seems that I brought this curse upon myself. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my destiny, and end my wandering.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours.
Cutscene.
You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright? No way! Hey! Are you done yet?
worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
Holy shit!
Die.
Called it.
This is trying my patience.
I fucking called it.
Questions?
Insignificant past. Behold. At my command, you shall fall.
Quit following me. Squall of fury.
Ow.
You dare to gaze upon me?
Let's swap the NRE real quick.
The wind rises.
He advances forward when he's in this mode. Interesting.
Too slow.
Insignificant past. You're dead.
The wind rises.
Human.
There we go. Nice. I fucking called it with the vision, though. Oh my god, I'm so hyped.
Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
It disappeared. Did we win?
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely back to your own.
I would say I'd prefer this.
Wait, but it was you inside that thing too. What have you got to be smug about?
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am.
Now you've recovered your memories, the past will catch up with you.
You sound like you're concerned about me. But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This dream has served its purpose.
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
Heal my Cookie Shinobi a little bit. That shouldn't be the end of it, right?
Welcome back, Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer.
It's actually coming up on... We're on 3.5 hours, and I've been going at this quest for about 3 now. So it makes enough sense.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey. Paimon's exhausted.
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change it.
Won't go by the Balladeer anymore.
After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him.
True.
I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember who the 6th is.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
Let's call it a tactical retreat.
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that.
I wonder if I haven't really paid much attention to Kaza as a whole. I wonder if any of his story at all, or any of his what is it? If any of his voice lines changed at all. And the same can be applied to all of the Inazuma characters that are concerned with the Raiden Gokuden. So Ayato, Ayaka, maybe Yae, Raiden Shogun, all of them. I'm curious if they had any information on the Raiden Gokuden, and if it'll be changed. Very curious. But let's continue.
Changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish. What you are looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed. How ridiculous.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again, so be it.
Ida doesn't see you in that way.
Oh right, I almost forgot. You're the good guys. You're into justice and all that. Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers. I can live with that.
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply and see what secrets can be uncovered, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I want to know as well.
Thank you. Let's hope you can find some answers.
I will try.
Traveler.
Yes.
After I dove into the information torrents in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma?
Because I wanted to know what you changed.
So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. And how. Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything I can to pay it back.
I didn't do all this for a reward. Please don't make it sound like I'm extorting you.
Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day. Don't you worry.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero. I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books. Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed, which is why there is emotion in the human world. Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be human.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
I hope you can give Nahida a chance.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but the most important thing now is that you need to follow Nahida. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been for nothing.
So, it sounds like we can't really change anything. Like, we can't revert things back to how it was. Once something is changed in Irminsul, it can't be taken back at all. So, unless there's some weird, there's got to be a workaround to that, though, to that kind of rule, especially when regarding the information on Greater Lord Rukadavada and the Forbidden Knowledge, right? We still can't necessarily mention that because it'll just reintroduce the Forbidden Knowledge. So, yeah.
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an
Oh, God.
for you too.
Why?
Because Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
Want us to decide?
No,
The hell?
Paimon only does nicknames. If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
Have you got anything?
Name. You can obtain the item, an appellative stroke from the Archon quest interlude, Inversion of Genesis, which will allow you to change Eons Adrift Wanderer's name. Please take note that some names cannot be utilized in this change. Once you have renamed this character, some interfaces in the game going forward will display the name that you have chosen. There is a limit to the number of times you can rename this character, so do so with care. Travelers, please ensure that you follow our terms of service. Okay, that's just a disclaimer. I don't know why I started reading that. Okay. Wow. What should his name be? Because we really don't want to try and use previous names. We'll just leave it to the Wanderer.
Are you sure?
think this will do.
Oh, all right. If you say so.
There. Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you done yet?
Still thinking. Stop rushing me!
Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one.
What do you plan to do next?
Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly. But it won't be immediate. You still need some time to compose yourself.
Wow, that is weird. I wonder how you can change his name afterwards.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they ought to know about the connection between Raiden Gokuden and myself. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them that I was the one responsible for the Raiden Gokuden's downfall. Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve to know the truth.
I see. That is up to you.
Huh? But if we do that, then...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that's how it always should have been.
Fine.
No nonsense. I like it.
I'll take it. Nah.
All right, let's call it a day. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant. He'll need some time to calm down.
That is crazy.
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't seem quite as fierce anymore.
There's some bumps along the way, but it's all over now.
So we can finally go eat? Paimon is starving.
Thank you both. I hope you will find somewhere nice to go and relax for a while.
One thing that I'm thinking about right now is how, like, we've had multiple times where we've seen a tree burning. We still haven't gotten to that point in the game story yet. And it'll be most likely touched up on in another interlude chapter. Holy shit, though.
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi Nagamasa.
You mean because everyone else in the story is dead?
Yeah, I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. He's the perfect fit to be the narrator of the epilogue. The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued to cast their shadow in Mikoshi Nagamasa's mind for decades to come. Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the tatara Nagamasa, was forged, the people rejoiced, and there was painting, dancing, and drinking. All these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire and turned into red clouds that rallied around the final sunrise that Mikoshi Nagamasa saw in his lifetime. Life is a story too long to be told, a journey that you must walk to behold.
That's quite convenient timing. Return to the resting place. Alright. Don't make no damn difference. I have a feeling that this is going to end anytime.
It's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back.
Rest up, Paimon. I'll buy some delicious treats as a reward.
Wow, great! Huh? Look at the vase.
Oh boy.
Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? But Paimon doesn't remember there being a cleaner.
Paimon, you're the one that broke it. That night we stayed here, Paimon bumped into the table and after being startled by something to do with the Balladeer and broke the vase. But the Balladeer erased his existence. Changed the world, so why is this vase still broken?
You sound lost and confused.
What? The actual fuck. This is among the 7. Because among the 7, right? Okay, let's just think about it, right? There's 2 possibilities that I think would have this kind of control, but I can rule out one of them completely. Let's talk Foslore, right? We'll rule her out. I've already ruled out Natlan long ago. Like that's the nation of war. The god in charge is a warmonger, essentially. We can easily count that one out. Maybe the Tsaritsa, because our Fatui Harbingers do a lot of holy shit. But my number one guess is the Sustainer. My number one guess is the Sustainer of Heavenly Principles is right now trying to talk to us. Genuinely sent chills through my spine. Gave me goosebumps. Who's that?
I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone here talking to us?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance, but for anyone else, who can say? When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate. Like a vase that falls to the ground, whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not?
Who are you? How do you know about all this?
History does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
It's the Tsaritsa.
face has disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out of nowhere and saying all that scary stuff?
Leave my eyes. Does she mean I should trust my memories?
Anyway, that face is still lying there broken on the ground. Should Paimon go get someone to clean it up?
That means we need to take things at face value. Essentially, when it comes to the things that we record in our own heads, essentially our memories, right? We need to take our memories at face value. That there's nothing, there's no extra angle to them. Those are our memories. And we need to trust them because we're literally the only person on this fucking planet that remembers things that, quite frankly, should not be in Teyvat. End of story.
It feels wrong just leaving it there. Just a moment. Paimon will be right back.
I wonder what else awaits me in the future. Okay, cool. Oh, it's gonna sit in there for how long? Okay. Okay, cool. It's not gonna give me... Okay. Let's just talk a little bit. Alright. Let's talk about what just happened and why I say it's the Tsaritsa that talked to us. And it's not just because of the Fatui, right? The Fatui's resources, no doubt in my mind that the Fatui do have ways to connect to Irminsul and to be able to convey message through advanced means. Right? Similar to how Nahida was able to do it in the 2.8 event line and all the way through to now, you know, being able to contact us through our consciousness. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Tsaritsa had a similar power. The second thing, or kind of go back on the first thing. So not just the Fatui having the resources, not just the Tsaritsa having those resources, and not because of dumb bullshit loophole. The second thing is a clue that I got after finding some stuff through data miners. Data miners got a bunch of voice lines on the Scaramouche, right? What he says about all the Fatui Harbingers and confirming the placing of Centrone being number 7, meaning that only 2 other Harbingers are are up in the air on who they're placed, and that is Il Capitano and Arlecchino. Both of them are the kind of the last 2 puzzle pieces to be put into the 11 Harbingers, whatever. Unimportant. But Scaramouche says, one of the line says a little bit about the Tsaritsa. Okay, we're gonna pause, right? Scaramouche tells us about the Tsaritsa and what she's like, right? And he mentions one key detail. Right, I'm gonna pull up a YouTube video. Right. We're going to pull up this video, and I'm going to essentially show you exactly what I found.
The jester.
Sorry about it being loud for a moment. Alright. Here. This is the video I found. Check out Shaka. They post a lot of data mine stuff. But this is what I want to bring your attention to.
Everyone praises her for her kindness and benevolence. But they forget that love is also a form of sin. What if she's just trying to compensate for something? Nothing
One key detail. Alright. Let me just... And... we are doing live. There we go. And we pull this back out, and we're onto the chapter storyline preview Travail trailer, released right before the game launched.
She is a god with no love left for her people, nor do they have any left for her.
We have a common theme now, and we can now finally start putting the piece together exactly what philosophies the Tsaritsa believes in. You know, for Barbados it was freedom, for Morax it was contracts, for Baal and Beelzebul it was eternity, for Boer it's wisdom, for Focalor it's justice, for the Pyro Archon, can't remember exactly what her name is. I think it's Murata, but do correct me if I'm wrong. For Murata, it's war. The Pyro Archon, it's war. But we never really got exactly what the Tsaritsa was. So this is a nice little crumb that we get. All right. So, seeing the concept of the possibility of the concept of love being her being the Tsaritsa's kind of key belief, essentially, makes me think that what was just said, the person that was talking to us was the Tsaritsa. You know, with the key line being human hearts can change. You know, I don't really have everything to be able to build on this kind of theory. I'm not that great at theorizing story events. I leave that to people who are way better, way smarter than me. But holy shit. I think that was the Tsaritsa that talked with us. That is crazy. Harinama Foxcat Monster. Memory. Okay. One hell of a fucking quest. Love it when we get little crumbs like that, and we still, it gives us that little bit to want more. Oh god. Alright. I think that ends it all for today. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content from our channel. I really would appreciate it. While you're at it, hit that notification bell for every time I upload or go live. I will be pulling down the VOD this stream after I'm done. I'll be pulling it down and re-uploading the VOD. I gotta edit some things out, some mistakes that I made. That way it doesn't completely ruin everything and whatnot. Me being careless, essentially. And, yeah. So I'll work to get that fixed tonight. And, yeah, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys